What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a chat about which One Piece card game set is the one you should be focusing on, investing in, prioritizing, phrase it how you will. We need to have a chat about which set is the best right now, because OP-13 came out pretty gosh darn recently, but we've already had OP-14 and EBO4, which remember is kind of a double set coming out, or kind of a set and a half, I suppose. But that is coming, that is confirmed, that has been revealed, and it's not been that long since we had OP-12. And OP-12 is looking pretty spicy. You add that all up together, and I think it's time we had a little bit of a chat. Sound like a plan? Excellent. So let's start off with the oldest of the sets, and that is OP-12. Because I said for a long time, right until the run-up of OP-12, I've been telling you guys, this is a good set. This is an underrated set. This is a set which is a lot better than people are giving it credit for. But can it hold up? Because you look at the top end, and you've got the manga rare coming in for this one, which is your Bonnie, and you're like, well, that's like a $600 manga, that's not a big one. You got the anniversary cards for your Marshall D. Teach, which are fine, but they're not these giant cards which are going to massively move the needle. And don't get me wrong, like the Gold Teach is like a $900-ish card. It's a big card, but I'm saying when you compare it to, you know, like other gold anniversary cards, for instance, it just doesn't hold up quite as well. If we look at the real highlight, gigantic, big hit cards in the set, it's fine, but it's not special. And, you know, outside of the big hit card, you've got the Zorojuro Special Rare, which is like a $100 card, and then the incredibly long name manga event, the green one, the Demon Blade one, which is like $90. And then it's kind of downhill from there. This is not a big set in terms of value. There are a couple of big hits in there, which, to be honest, between manga rare and anniversary cards, there's kind of always big hits in One Piece sets nowadays. But it's not gigantic. But if you're looking from a playability standpoint, OP-12 is great. The secret rares are Kuma and Bonnie, both of which are very playable, and the Kuma is nuts in basically any yellow deck. And Rayleigh has proven to be a very good high-level deck. Zoro has been one of the best decks in OP-12 and continues to be one of the best in OP-13. Kazan and Sanji not on the same level, but they've proven to be decent, viable decks. And then there's only one leader that hasn't actually made a bit of an impact in the meta. So playability-wise, we got good secret rares, we've got good leaders, and then there's a whole bunch of super rares that are staples, but that's kind of the same for every set. And you add it all up together, and look, I think the design of the special rares is absolutely phenomenal. Take a look at Tashigi, for instance, or Lim. They're brilliant. They're just not quite value-wise like we are with some other sets. OP-12 is great. Good for playability, decent hits. Does it stand up to OP-13? No. There's no point doing much of a pretense here, honestly, ladies and gentlemen. There's no point doing much of a pretense. OP-13, I keep telling you guys it's the biggest set we've ever had. And I'm not mucking about or pulling your leg or any other generic phrase. It is, by a gigantic country mile, the biggest set we've ever had. Now, I will say that the anniversary Shanks is only a little bit higher than the Marshall D. Teach. They are higher, especially the gold, but not that much higher. But that's about it. Because you look at OP-13 and you go, well, hang on a second. We've got 3 manga rares, and one of the manga rares is Luffy, and that is a big manga rare. To put this into context, the smallest manga rare here is Sabo, which is a smidge higher than Bonnie, Porkus, that's about 650. Ace is about 850, and Luffy is over 1,300. So there is no contest here. The worst of the manga rares is a little bit higher than we see in OP-12. And there's 2 other manga rare which are higher. And that's just the manga rares. Because then we've got the gold manga rares as well. And the gold manga rares are significantly higher, going up to the Luffy, which is like the first 2 are like 3.5 grand-ish. The Luffy's probably over 7, maybe up to about 8 nowadays. So the red manga rare are absolutely huge. Let's not forget that the wanted poster ace was misprinted, which has pushed the value of that card over $500. Oh yeah, and then we've got the God Pack Gorosei coming in as well, and the quintet of them, it generally sold as a quintet nowadays. It generally comes in at like 2.5 grand. So value-wise, OP-13, absolutely gigantic. Well, maybe OP-12 can win playability. Nope. Because, okay, I will tell you, OP-12 probably has the better secret rares. I will give you that. But when you look at the decks, right now, the top 2 decks in the OP-13 meta, it is between Ace and Imu. Both of which are in this set. They are the top 2 decks in the meta right now. And they're not quite on the same level, but Goldie Roger, very good deck, been topping a bunch in Japan. Bonnie, very good deck, been topping in Japan. And Sabo has actually turned out to be a very good deck, which has been topping in a bunch of big tournaments over in Japan. And actually, like OP-12, 5 of the leaders are good. Sorry, Luffy. And Luffy's fine, it's not on the same level. But judging by results so far, the leaders from OP-13 as a group, I think have probably, well, no, they have, as far as I'm concerned, jumped the leaders from OP-12. So it doesn't just win in terms of value, it also wins in terms of playability. Because, like, the whole Imu deck is in OP-13. And sure, like, the other decks aren't quite so insular. Oh, Roger a little bit, to be fair. But there are just a lot of playable cards for all of those decks in this set. And to be fair, they've even gone and put special rares, like check out the Tashigi, for instance. Okay, it's actually Smoker, but you know what I mean. And I already told you about the wanted poster, so there's even 2 sets of special rares. OP-13 is a monster of a set, and I love OP-12. I think OP-12 is phenomenal. But I'm telling you right now, OP-13 completely, and I do mean completely, leaves it in the dust. So what about the new one? What about OP-14? Well, big caveat. Half of OP-14, well, no, that's not true. Like a third of the set, maybe a bit less, maybe a quarter of the set is going to be EB-04. Because we have half of EB-04 in the set. But remember, the EB sets are generally smaller than the regular sets anyway. So we've got half of a smaller set popped in with OP-14. I'll let you figure that one out. There might be some big cards in the EB sets. I'm not sure. So there is a big asterisk next to this one. And let's not forget that EB-02 did come with those gold leader cards, which were fantastic. And then EB-03 did come with the special rares of the heroines, which were also fantastic. So there might be something in there that changes things up, that mixes things up a little bit, that we just don't know about yet because we've not seen enough. And in Japan, it is going to be a proper set, like an actual booster set release normally, so please bear all of this in mind. But the point I'm making here is there might be some unknown. But right now, OP-14 is looking a bit like OP-12. We've got anniversary cards in the shape of Buggy. They're amazing, but value-wise, they are not going to be probably up to the Shanks level. We've got a manga rare in Mihawk, which is my personal favourite manga rare we've had so far. But value-wise, it is on the lower end. It's down there with Bonnie going by Japanese prices. We have stunning special rares like the Perona, for instance, which is going to be very popular. but they're not going to be on the same level as what we saw in OP-13. And then leaders-wise, you know, people are talking about Mihawk being pretty good. And let's be clear, it is too early to judge this properly. Cannot stress this enough. It is too early. But Boa Hancock looks like there's some potential. Jinbei looks like there is some potential. Doflamingo looks like a lower tier leader, but I'm hearing people talking about it. But from what I'm seeing, kind of consensus for the tier list I'm seeing very early, Mihawk seems to be jumping up. And then there are people fighting for decks like Jinbei and Hancock and Moria as well. I'm seeing that around. I might as well just mention Law because it's the only one I've not mentioned yet. But early indications, and it is early. But early indications are that leader-wise, this does not look to be as good as the last couple of sets. Oh, I actually didn't mention Crocodile either. It's a 7 Warlord set, so there's 7 leaders. I keep forgetting that. But the point is, maybe some of these end up being amazing, but value-wise, it's not even close. And playability-wise, 12 and 13 both properly shook up the metagame. And 14 looks like it is shaking up the metagame, don't get me wrong, but not in the way the others did. Adding some decks, shaking things up, not on the same kind of level. And honestly, right now, OP-13 by a landslide. By an absolute, no question, landslide. Just massive landslide, not even close. And it's not just the value. It is also the fact that whether you like the format or not, and there's plenty of people suggesting it might not be the best format, and that's fine. Oh my word, it has shaken up the format, and that's the important thing for now. So there we go. That's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Do you think I'm right? Which set would you choose? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.